The next 25 minutes are going to get a little bit personal. We're going to take you on a journey through my cancer. January the 28th of 2010 is the anniversary of the day that I found out that I had prostate cancer. Cancer didn't kill me, but it did destroy Rick Dancer. And over the next 25 minutes, I think you're going to understand why. I do my best talking when I'm in the car, so we're going to go for a little drive. I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting. All right, so we're going to start, kind of give you an overview. This is a story we produced a few years ago for the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute. This will kind of lay out the nuts and bolts of my cancer, and then we'll come back and show you a little bit more. When the phone rings and your doctor informs you you have cancer, life forever changes. I work in the television video production industry. I do online videos and decided, after a lot of thinking, to make my cancer very public. So here's the thing. I have cancer, prostate cancer, and I'm just shocked, just kind of stunned and numb and scared and afraid. My diagnosis came in January of 2010. I didn't want to die, but I also, to be honest, I didn't want to lose my ability to have an erection. I mean, that's a big concern for a guy. I'm not afraid this is going to kill me. Prostate cancer is really treatable. I'm afraid of the process. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to live with cancer. In my late 40s, my PSA jumped. At first, the PSA was 2, then 4, and that's when the biopsies began. It took 5 years and 5 biopsies to find cancer. My PSA was hovering at 20 when the cancer was discovered. That was the horrible process. We felt so alone while we were looking for a treatment. And I remember we'd go to doctor appointment after doctor appointment, and every time we'd come out, we just sit there and cry all the way home. The internet was even worse. The most talked about treatments always came with a host of possible side effects. Your temptation is to move quickly. You hear cancer and just want to get it out of your body. I resisted the temptation and took several months finding the treatment that was right for me, and I'm so glad I did. I wish in those early days we'd had a team of specialists like those at the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute to talk with us about all the options, not just the usual treatments. So you can't rely on friends and relatives or other men in your life who've had prostate cancer and do what they did. You really have to go through this process yourself and figure out what's the best treatment for you, or whether you really want to get treated at all at this point. Cancer did change my life, but not in the ways I thought it would. We chose a treatment that worked for us. Yes, this is not just your decision. Your wife needs to be part of that process. I think attitude is a huge part of cancer treatment, survival, and moving on. I didn't have to fight cancer, I had to fight Rick Dancer, me. Surviving cancer did have lasting effects on our lives. We discovered how much stronger we are and how short time really is when you think about it. We now do triathlons, our first half marathon. We cycle Oregon and try things we never dreamed of trying before. I'm not trying to glamorize cancer. There is nothing beautiful about it. But cancer let me stare death in the face and then walk away. There is something powerful in the gift of survival. Guys, the best advice I can give after going through this process is don't rush into anything. First of all, determine whether you need to be treated with your different doctors that you're going to go visit. If you do decide on treatment, look at the side effects and make sure you're comfortable with what's going to happen or what could happen. And then remember, you will get through this. Life is good now. My PSA is down to 0 for the first time in a decade. My side effects from the treatment are minimal. I look back at this video and remember that day like it was yesterday. That's kind of where we're at. So keep praying.
and I thank you. It'll get better. It'll get better. It'll get better.
I was right. It is getting much better. That video in the car where I was getting pretty upset, it took me 4 months to put that on and actually put it out for the public because it was just so raw and so emotional. I couldn't do it. It took me that long to get ready to do it. We're going to introduce you to a new place, a new coffee shop in Springfield. Actually, it just has new owners, but it's a really cool little place called the Washburn Cafe. Come on in. 12-ounce mocha. Okay. And I'm going to do an 8-ounce shot in the dark. Real stuff. How long have you guys been here?
We took over September 29th, opened October 24th.
Here we are.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So cancer is a process, and there's lots of little procedures that you don't know about when you go into this that you have to do, and you had no clue that it's coming. And so I documented all this in my car, and take a look. So I got some news today that kind of puts everything on hold a little bit for a while. It's not bad news, but it's just, you know, when you're ready to go, you're ready to go. So here's this, the nurse called me, and I guess I have unusual anatomy, is what I'm told. Okay, now let me explain, okay? I guess since I don't have enough fat in my system, they're having a hard time seeing between my gallbladder, the difference between my prostate and my bladder. Most people, I guess, have a bunch of fat in between there so they can clearly outline them when they're, you know, designing the target that they want to hit. I'm too healthy. Ah! If only I'd eaten more French fries in my life, I wouldn't have to have the MRI. Oh well, just goes to show you. You can't do everything, right? You can't stop your life you can't stop yourself from getting cancer. You can greatly reduce your risk by doing some things, but sometimes it's just all catches up with you. Starting to kind of get a handle on what I'm gonna do. And I think once we make up our mind, then we'll go in and get it done and get on with this thing. So, yeah, it's better has a different definition than it did a week ago, but it's getting better. So in my years on TV, I covered, literally thousands of stories on cancer, talking with people who had cancer. And honestly, never in a million years did you think I was going to be the one who's going to end up on there. I had a really good friend in the news business named Erin Bruce, and her mother had breast cancer, and she survived. And we used to do, every year, the American Cancer Society had this daffodil bouquet, put together a bouquet out of daffodils, and it was a fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. So one year we went to do this, and I cheated. I went to a local florist, and they showed me how to make a bouquet, so I took it to Erin and we produced it so we could win the competition. So let's take a look back at those old days, back when I had no idea what cancer really was, but I thought I knew everything.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks
While
for
Erin
joining
Bruce
us
was
for
filling in on the
9 News
midday
Today. I'm
news,
Erin Bruce.
photographer
Thanks for
Derek
calling
Perry and I were cheating. Getting some much-needed help. Sue is going to save our bacon.
Yeah, of course I am.
So, Sue, what can we do?
So you start with these.
How hard can this be?
We're just going to put these all the same length so that all you have to do is just plug them right in.
I know it doesn't look like I'm helping. Erin, this is what I have to do to help pay for the flowers. So you're going to do a lot of work when I get back. How did Erin get me into this? So do you think Erin and I can do this?
Well, I have a lot of confidence in Erin.
So that's all I got to do.
That's all you have to do.
At the VRC, it's time to get cracking. Erin's got a mission. Because your mom had breast cancer.
Yes.
And she's recovered.
Right, she's in remission. That's why I do this.
When something touches you this closely, it matters. So when you're putting this bouquet together, it's not just a bunch of flowers.
No, it's not just a bunch of flowers. And I can tell you firsthand, when she sat there getting chemotherapy and radiation, it was things like this that really made her day.
making someone's day. So that's what this is all about. You have some fun.
Yes.
So we did it ourselves, but we
totally did it ourselves.
We took a class.
We took a class.
Butter up the judges.
I think they're the most beautiful,
Aren't they beautiful?
judges we've ever
They're
had.
gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous judges.
Okay, please.
Oh,
Check out the competition.
I know this woman.
who is she?
Yes, I do. That's really pretty.
Don't forget those judges.
Oh, they're looking.
Ours was
There's the
created
judges.
with.
And don't forget why we're here.
So, the person who gets this, what do you say to them?
You say, keep fighting. Keep fighting every day. And we're standing there behind you, and we will keep fighting until we find a cure.
What I will tell you, about our food is that we prepare everything from scratch. So we make sure we hire people that have the passion for making food. That's one of the ingredients. The other one, we make sure that our recipes, they use the ingredients that we tell them to use. And before we put it into the market, we make sure we test, try it. What I love about this business is the people. I'm a people person, so I love to interact with people, and I love to make people feel good.
So here's the best part at Ranchito Grill. Every month they give away 2 free dinners to some lucky winner, and all you have to do is go in there, have dinner, fill out a little piece of paper with your name and your phone number on it, stick it in the Rick Dancer box, and we draw a name out every month and have a winner. When I found out I had cancer, I was shooting videos with my GoPro, and I stuck it in my car. And I just started documenting everything that I was going through because I wanted to be sure that I remembered it. And that really has paid off for me because in going back and shooting stuff for this show, I've discovered things that I had forgotten that had happened that reassure me in my decisions and what I did. So part of this whole process is, you end up going to the doctor a lot. And my wife and I went the other day for the consultation to find out kind of what's the next step. And now this next week I've got bone scans, CAT scans, CTs, checking my body. They want to check my bones to see if the cancer's gone to my chest bones or my pelvic bone. That's where it usually goes first. And then they're going to do a bunch of searching like that to see if they can see anything in my lymph nodes. Chances are that's not going to be there, but you always want to take that precaution. But God, we were just overwhelmed. I mean, you walk out of the doctor's office, and I went home, and I was so frustrated I just had to sit down in a chair because I couldn't pack because we came up to the mountain. And my wife just says, take a break. And then we just stood there and kind of hugged each other and started crying. And just because you're just overwhelmed with information and knowledge. So I gotta tell you, I'm just feeling like I am the most blessed guy on the planet. And I think part of the reason is because I got cancer. It's becoming like a gift. And I know that's just weird to some people, and you don't have to understand it, because remember, I'm the guy who doesn't care if you understand it. But I'll tell you what, I got doctors who are watching out for me. This week, I find out that they found this clump of veins by my prostate, and if I hadn't had this MRI done, which I didn't want to have done, I wouldn't have known that. And now I know that the procedure I'm doing is the perfect procedure for me, that God was watching me the whole time. It just doesn't stop. My phone's ringing, and I'm getting business.
Hello, I'm Leona Houston with Country Financial. I've spent years in our community helping families protect their homes, their cars, and their lives. Complete financial security doesn't end with insurance. I'm also here to help you plan for your retirement. I'm backed by a team of professionals that can help you achieve your goals. Together, we'll set up a step-by-step plan to help you reach your financial security. Let's talk soon.
What I'm discovering in my life right now is that balance is everything. And in order to balance my life, I've got to have a focal point. Doesn't mean I have to know where I'm going. It means I have to have a focus. Well-meaning people And thoughts and distractions will come by, and sometimes they're not well-meaning, but they'll come and try to distract you from what you're doing. And the key is, don't look around. Don't look behind you, and don't look too far ahead. Just keep your focus where you're at. And what I discover is that if I keep my balance, that I can carry more weight on my shoulders than I ever dreamed possible.
There's a lot of people who are just starting work right now, graveyard shifts, swing shifts. They couldn't normally get breakfast after 10:30 a.m., but now they can. So we're gonna go out there and surprise them with McGriddles and biscuits. Let's go.
I love breakfast. It's like my favorite meal of the day.
This was the #1 requested menu item from our customers, and we're so happy that we can now give them the McGriddles and the biscuits.
I work from 5 to 1:30 in the morning, and it's amazing to be able to get my favorite food at that certain time of night.
And we've made a lot of changes to menu items on the all-day breakfast lineup, such as the sausage patties and the folded omelet-style eggs on the McGriddles now have no preservatives, artificial flavors, or artificial colors.
I don't start work until 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I get off at 2:30 in the morning, so there isn't exactly a lot of food options available. This pretty much solves that problem. Oh, that's good. That's good.
So at some place in the process of cancer and treatment and all that, there comes this moment when you start to see hope. You start to see maybe that this could actually be a blessing. And that is the day that I think you kind of turn a corner and things begin to change just a little bit. I can't control my life. I've learned that. I'm not living in a box. I can't control my life. I color outside the lines. I have to march to a different drummer because I have no choice. And so there's some freedom in that. I mean, does cancer give you freedom? Wow. Now, I know there's some of you out there and you're gonna watch this and say, yeah, but let's be practical. There are some things, no. Let's don't be practical. I don't have time for practicality anymore, or process. I hate process. Not process of going through cancer and that. I understand I have to do that. But I'm talking about when process limits you from living. And we do that all the time and we call it normal. Well, there ain't nothing normal about this anymore, so go color on a wall somewhere. Don't go tagging, I'm not saying that. But color outside the lines. Go put on your boots and run through a mud puddle. It's not gonna kill you. Let your kids do it. It's not gonna kill you. It's not gonna kill you. Hey, have a good weekend. Don't go in the box. One of the things that cancer did for me was it made me even more open to people. And I got this great idea. You know what I should do? You guys should come with me, and we're gonna go over to this place in Eugene that a lot of you probably don't know about, and there are some amazing people there, and I wanna introduce you to a guy, if he's there today, named Barry. Come on in. Let's go.
Hey, oh my God.
How you doing?
How are you?
You guys, this is Barry. So how do we know each other?
Rick Dancer is my friend, but it's sports club.
So what is that? What has the gym done for you and people in there?
I love the people. I love the people.
It was good seeing you, Barry.
Bye-bye. See you later.
See you later, man. See ya.
See ya.
Oregon Supported Living Program is a local nonprofit that supports adults with developmental disabilities. But what makes the Arts and Culture program unique is that it's open to anybody in the community. So you don't have to have a disability to come here, but we make sure it's safe and accessible for everybody.
Hi, bud.
What are you doing, man?
I thought I'd make this a picture deal.
And so what are you doing with that on there?
I'm going to make a couple mermaids.
Oh.
And I thought I'd take it and use them as part of laying in hue. And then take like a river scene and let them flow down the river.
That's awesome, George.
Along the river line.
Who's that cute girl next to you?
Oh, that's my Mrs. Lisa. Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
What are you doing, girl? How are you?
Hi, Rick Dancer.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
I'm making waterfall, like almost like Hood River and stuff.
Oh.
And I gotta thin out some of this paint so it doesn't look as thick on one area.
Lisa and I do the Look Me in the Eye stuff together. She's one of the people who goes to some of the assemblies with us when we do schools and talks to folks about stuff, don't you?
Yes, I do.
And you've probably seen both of them in a couple of Look Me in the Eye commercials because they're kind of like famous. Kind of a big deal, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm famous all the time. People like me for who I am. Well, I wish people learn to keep their nose clean and look us in the eye instead of judging us like a book.
So I couldn't have done this without my wife. You got to have people in your life that you trust and support. And one of the things that was kind of cool is I started doing these little videos where I would just call it the Cancer Dancer.
Okay, let's see it now. Ready?
And I go into strange towns and just dance because I could. Because you kind of lose some of your inhibitions when people are staring at your crotch and looking at places that, you know, normal people don't look. And so one day we took the camera up to McKinsey and my wife and I just did our own little Cancer Dancer thing. So it was pretty special.
Millennials. Lazy, spoiled, entitled, irresponsible. But are we? You know, it's funny though, because that's the same things that were being said about our parents when they were our age. I just don't buy it. All you hear in the media is that the world's going to hell. I want to feel like my voice matters. I want to feel like I have a place in this world. I want to hear about the good things that are happening in the world. So let's talk about all this real stuff. Let's have these conversations. I mean, why not?
So that's my story. You know, if having cancer makes me more able to do what we just did up there and to reach people and talk to them, I'm okay with that. You know, there's a lot of people where cancer is not a good ending. For me, I'm fortunate. It's been a good ending. Here are some thoughts that I had a year after I went through my treatment. Thanks for watching. Good night. It's been a year now since I found out I had prostate cancer. A year today, January 28th, from 4 to 5 o'clock in the evening, my wife and I sat in that kitchen back there behind me, practically sweating blood because we knew the answer was coming. And then the phone rang and the doctor said, "You have cancer." And my head swirled, our world turned upside down, and we didn't have a clue as to what the hell was going to happen. And I'm glad we didn't know. So what do you learn over a year? I kind of sat down this morning and just wrote some stuff out. So bear with me, listen if you want, or go somewhere else if you don't want. It just doesn't matter. I'm more tolerant of some things, and I'm far less tolerant of stupidity. I'm less of an idealist, and I'm more certain in my lack of control. I have fewer priorities in my life today. I like people more, but I need them less. I trust God more and trust less in the ways of man, politics, religion, systems, formulas. They don't work. Peace is easier to find, yet it's much harder to hold on to once you've had cancer. I believe in less, but that which I believe in more. Compromise is easier to attain because when you have cancer, control becomes obsolete. You understand you have no control. Loneliness after cancer is more normal. Understanding matters little. Planning is worthless. Adventure is survival. What you put on your body once you've had cancer no longer matters. What you put in it means everything. I would never go back a year. This has been a hell of a year. But I don't want to give any of it up either, because it's mine. It's Kathy's and mine. We own it. I would not be the person I am today had it not been for cancer. God's good. Kathy and I were walking around the lake the other night, the pond, the Walterville Pond, and talking, and you know, we used to believe in so many things. Now it's down to 3. God, Jesus, He died on a cross for my sins. That's about it. Everything else, I just don't know, and I don't need to. Simplicity is the way of living, and cancer has given me that. So, 29th of January, let's go into 2011, and let's have a much better year. That's it.
I want to see a little attitude there. Come on. Come on, you can do better than that. You don't hide from me. Ooh, 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 We're going on YouTube, yeah. You're gonna see the cancer dancers there. We're gonna spread our message that nothing can take us down. No, oh, I never left it over. Hey, I'm Rick Dancer, so I can do the cancer dancer. I can do the cancer dancer, yeah. I got my friends.